Hunter Greene, I had put out a post that obviously pissed a lot of people off, Nick, and I mean it. I'm going to still stand on business here. Mark Sheldon reports, and he has a quote here on Hunter Greene, and I will read it directly. Quote, "But for a guy with a long-term contract who says he wants to be a leader, Greene needs to start showing it and get back on the field." End quote, Mark Sheldon. And to be very clear, I am all for tough journalism. I am all for pushing, some type of tough question on managers or the front office or players when you think things aren't aligning the way they're supposed to be. But I am against passive aggressive type discussions. I am 100% for direct forward discussions. If you like to say that you think Hunter Greene is basically faking an injury or is not hurt and he should be pitching, let's have that discussion. But I am against the idea of sitting here saying that, well, in order for him to be one of the best pitchers in the league, Hunter Greene's just going to have to get back out there. And in order for him to really help this baseball team, he's going to have to get out there soon. Are we suggesting that Hunter Greene is not wanting to come back? Because that's clearly the narrative, and that's how I took it. I don't know how Hunter Greene took it, but I don't understand the idea of trying to tear a player down, okay, because of an injury. Like, if you want to have a discussion that they're injury prone and you think that that's something that you can't rely on going into a season, so be it. Injury prone and faking an injury, Nick, are two vastly different things. And the way that I'm reading into this, and maybe I'm completely wrong, and I apologize if I am, to Mark Sheldon and obviously Brantley as well, who's kind of also had this narrative a little bit. I apologize if you aren't trying to state that you think Hunter Greene can come back and pitch and he's deciding not to, and basically the MRIs and everything says that you should be able to do it, but you think he's soft. If you think Hunter Greene's soft, then by God, just say it. I'm cool with that. I would respect that if that's what they said. But there's also they're kind of like half in and half out at it. Let's just say what it is, because if you think that he's injured, then he's injured. He can't pitch. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It'd be like getting mad at Nick Lodolo because he has blisters. And it's like, well, it's just a blister. Pitch through it, you pansy. Well, let's do that same thing to Hunt. Let's do that same thing to Nick Lodolo next time he gets a blister. Let's just tell him he's a pansy and he needs to pitch through it. He needs to tough it out. He needs to be he needs to go out there and come hell or high water. He better be out there for the team because he needs to be a leader. Okay, but we don't do that because we understand, well, if he can't pitch at the highest level that he's capable of pitching, he's not going to help the team. I'm giving Hunter Greene the benefit of the doubt by saying a couple things, Nick. One, he's always seemed like a competitor. I know this. He was absolutely pissed off to hell and back when Montas got the opening day ball over him last year. That pissed him off. And I think he was pretty open about that being upset. He looks like a physical specimen. The guy clearly puts himself in the best position, in my opinion, to try to be the best pitcher that he could possibly be. It'd be one thing if he came back every spring training and looked like Moustakas. I'm sorry for the ricochet shot to him and his family, but hopefully that illustrates the point. Maybe you're suggesting that he's going about his business wrong in regards to the offseason of whether he should work out one way over another. Again, to be clear, maybe I'm reading too far into all this, Nick, and I don't mean to like misquote people, but that quote that I just read, Nick, clearly illustrates to me that Mark Sheldon is saying he's soft and or he thinks that he's not hurt. One of the two. And if that's the case, then just say it.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
No, I think you said that. I appreciate the way you said that. Yeah, I agree. Like, don't give these vague comments like that he's not a leader. Yeah, if you're gonna say he's soft, call him soft. Don't do that. I don't know. It just is this really what we want to do? Do we really want to piss off our hope, like our guy that finished the top 10 in Cy Young voting that we got on an absolute bargain contract right now? I don't know. The guy kept getting hurt. He wants to make sure he's able to stay on the field. I don't know. I would like a little bit more concrete evidence that he's faking an injury or whatever before just throwing this stuff out there. because the guy's been absolutely dynamite when he's pitched. And maybe part of that's because he doesn't pitch injured. And, the guy's a 2.75 ERA last year, a 2.72 ERA this year, pitching in Great American Ballpark, and we're going to just throw shots at that guy?
Yeah, and he might be injury prone. Like, Nick, I think it's fair to say that, you could say this. The one thing that might, be holding Hunter Greene back from being mentioned with the top echelon of pitchers is his unfortunate situation of injuries popping up from time to time. But that's not what was said. That was Mark Sheldon basically saying that, he's and again, I'm going to say it bluntly because I think that's what it is. Mark Sheldon is saying he's faking an injury. That's exactly how I read that. And I'll tell you this, that's a dangerous game to play, man. That's a dangerous game to play. That seems like a really stupid game to play, personally, because, for as much as everyone always says that, I get on every single player. I don't care who it is. I will sit here and say it how I feel it no matter what. And I'm not afraid to hurt players' feelings. I'm not afraid to step on toes. I'll say stuff straight to people's faces if I have to. I really don't care. This is just my opinion, and I'm doing the best I can to do the job that I do. And hopefully you can do the same. But one thing you'll never see me do on this show is question somebody's injuries unless they've showcased an unbelievable amount of data that says that they cannot be trusted. If he's Anthony Rendon and he's making comments in the offseason about how he just doesn't love baseball anymore and he could care less and this, that, and the next, and then all of a sudden he's got 2 MRIs and people are saying he should come back and he's not, then there's a reasonable discussion to be had, Nick. But under no circumstance have I ever considered Hunter Greene to be a guy that's not doing everything he can to come back out there. And if he can pitch, then he will. This is the same guy that was throwing up every other start, by the way, on the mound. Are we supposed to forget that? Like, either he was super nervous or was trying to be a really good arm, so he cares a lot, or he was sick throwing up on the mound and still trying to pitch. So what how would you classify that, Nick?
He also led the Reds in starts and innings pitched last year.
Yeah, I don't get it. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe Hunter Greene is, as some would say, milking it. Maybe he doesn't want to come back. I have a hard time believing that, man. There is no way I'm going to get on board with that. And I just think it's chicken, you know what. I think it's chicken, you know what, to say that type of stuff. And if I'm wrong, I'll apologize to those guys that are saying that he was. And you know what? I'm not even apologizing from the standpoint that they're wrong. I'm basically just saying, to be very clear, my opinion on the matter is, I'd love for you to just say exactly what you mean. That's all. And they don't say what they mean because they know that it's probably a bad way to go about it, I guess. So we'll just do it passive aggressively.
And Hunter Greene still has a lot at stake. Like, yeah, he's signed a contract with the Reds, but I believe he's a free agent at like 30 years old. Like, he's still pitching for that next contract. Like, I just why were we worried about was Jamer Candelario faking an injury? We didn't have any concerns about that. Yeah,
because he was so bad we didn't want him around.
No one worried about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I hope Hunter comes back as soon as possible. But I'll tell you what. What would you rather have? Just to be honest, if he's not 100%, there's two camps of thought. One, if you're saying he's faking it or milking it and doesn't want to go out there and he's completely healthy, I can't argue that. That's a whole nother philosophical debate. But if you're one of those people right now that are saying, well, even if he's not 100%, I don't give a damn. Tough it out. Find a way to go pitch, Nick. Just hypothetically. If he goes out there and let's just say he starts against the Nationals, and what would his next start be after that? I'm guessing it would be
probably the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers. I guess if you're saying that you'd rather him force himself to go out and have an outing against the Nationals and the Dodgers for the chance to risk an opportunity to pitch in late August and September, and heaven forbid, dare I say, October, then I guess, yeah, maybe we don't see eye to eye on this thing. I don't know. I'd like to make sure he's 100% healthy and he can pitch in the postseason before we do anything, personally. But that's me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
I think we had one more super chat.
all right, let's do it. Last thing, I see people in chat saying I get it, guys. Like everyone's saying his MRI is clean. Okay, well, we also told, and I'm not trying to be too overly ridiculous about this. Okay, we also told CES that he was fine and he had a broken effing hand. Okay, like you got everyone's gonna sit here and act like the doctors 100% know everything. Do they? I mean, you genuinely think that no matter what happens in the entire world, that the doctors are always right? They always know every single thing there is about every single person? I'd like to think that the guy that's actually trying to do his job, if he's being honest and he says he can't do it, then I'm going to take him for his word for it. At least for a little while. If this goes on all year long and there's nothing that happens because the doctors can't figure it out, then we'll have a discussion then.